we just hop on right on it and let's get some tapping done. And I'll show you the basic technique so that you can start using this with your families and on yourself as well. And I also offer a free guide that you can download from my website if you don't remember all the points, for example, and how it's done. So, should we get started? I only see myself and Ollie right now, but I probably, now I see Cynthia. I'm going to work with Cynthia today. So tell me a little bit about the fear that you felt the other day when you were out and about and was going to the shops.
It was just weird because, you know, I live in, well, I guess this was later in the day, and I live in the tourist section, so there weren't a lot of tourists. And just nobody was on the streets. There's always police patrolling. All the shops were closed. It just looked like an Armageddon, you know, like all the people had disappeared from the earth. It was just really a weird feeling. And
so how did that make you feel? Was it a fear? Was it something else?
I think it was sadness, you know, kind of sad. Probably fear too.
Yeah. So the first premise when you're working with emotional freedom technique is to be very specific about what you're working with. So should we choose the fear or the sadness today? Which one do you think is strongest?
Fear.
The fear. And exactly what is it that you fear when you feel that fear?
Well, I fear that since I have asthma, if I got it, there wouldn't be a ventilator that would keep me alive or something like that, you know, that.
So essentially you're really scared of getting the virus for yourself and your health.
Yeah, and I haven't had the flu in years, and I had a flu shot, and I'm being careful, but still, that's the worst case scenario.
So if you would describe this fear and make it as specific as possible, it would be like a terror or a fear or for getting the disease or not getting treatment.
You know, it's kind of hard. It's a lot, but I also fear, you know, that a big change is happening in the whole world, and I hope it's a good change. But then there's all these people that have conspiracy theories, and, you know, that this was planned and all this. You know, I try not to believe any of that stuff. I try to be on the positive side, but
we need to work with one fear at a time. So once you know we have emotional freedom technique, so then you can list all your fears,
right.
All your specific fears, and then you can work with one fear at a time, because it's very important to be specific when you do emotional.
Let's say fear of getting the virus.
Fear of getting the virus. Perfect. So where do you feel that in your body? Is it in your chest or in your stomach?
Yes.
In your chest. Okay. Perfect. And how intense? We choose a specific fear and then we measure the fear. How intense is the fear, from 1 being almost nothing to 10 being super intense?
I guess 8.
8. That's really great. And then when we have our specific fear and measured it on our scale, we start tapping on the points. And I'm going to briefly go through the points so that you know which they are. These are acupuncture points that are on end points of the meridians that we have in our body. And we will start with the side of the hand that is right here. And we tap firmly with 2 or 3 fingers like this. And then the next point is on top of the head, just between our ears. It can be a little bit sore if you touch it and you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
We tap on that one with 2 fingers. Tap firmly, but not so much that it hurts. Then there is a point in the beginning of the eyebrow. We tap on that as well. So a little indent there. It's a little bit difficult when you have glasses, but I think you can manage. Then there is a point outside corner of your eye, on the bone ridge that we have there. There's also a point underneath the eye, straight underneath the eye. Tap on that like that. There is a point between the nose and the upper lip. We tap on it like that. And then there is a point just between your lower lip and your chin. And just tap on that like that. And the points are equal on both sides of the body. So the next point is, if you put your finger in the little indent and then go a little bit to the right or to the left, beneath your collarbone, just beneath your collarbone. That's the next point. And then there is a point underneath your armpit, about 3 inches. It's a little bit sore as well. You can feel it?
Yeah.
And then I use this point. Not all practitioners use the same point, but I use this point as well. And that one I use like this. And then end up with this point again. So once you've done tapping through all the points, it's called a round. We've done a round of tapping. But we start out by doing a setup phrase. And the setup phrase is essentially the fear that we're working on together with a positive statement. And we say that 3 times while we tap on this point. So how would you like to express that fear in words in a way that feels true to you?
I'm afraid that if I had the virus, I would die.
Okay, yeah. So then we say, you can repeat after me. Even though I'm afraid.
Even though I'm afraid.
That if I get the virus, I will die.
That if I get the virus, I will die.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
And if someone can't say I love and accept myself because it's too strong, choose another phrase that is positive, that feels okay. Like I want to love and accept myself, or I'm good enough. So 2 more times. Even though I have this fear.
Even though I have this fear.
That I will die if I catch the virus.
That I will die if I catch the virus.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
1 more time. Even though I have this fear.
Even though I have this fear.
That I will die if I catch the virus.
That I will die if I catch this virus.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
And then we could just go through the points. Top of the head. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
And keep connected with the fear. Eyebrow point. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Outside of the eye. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Outside, underneath the eye. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Underneath the nose. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Underneath the lower lip. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Collarbone point. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Underneath the arm. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
The wrist point. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
And side of the hand, like this or like this. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Okay, and then we check in with the fear again. How intense is it right now? It's from 1 to 10.
Well, I wasn't breathing when we did that, so I'm tight here. Probably a 4.
Okay, it went down so quickly. That is amazing. So what we did in this round is basic emotional freedom technique. There are several different techniques, and it's important to learn different techniques if you want to work with, for example, deeper emotional issues. But this fear is going down fast. So is it still, check in with the fear again? Is it still the same fear? Has it changed place in the body? Is it still in the chest?
Still here. I mean, my chest is tight. I just think I need more deep breaths and I'll feel better.
Let's do a couple more rounds and see where we end up. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Eyebrow point. This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Outside the eye, this fear that I will die if I catch the virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
Underneath the eye, this fear that I will die if I catch the virus.
This fear that I will die if I catch this virus.
And you don't, just a pointer, you don't have to repeat it the same words all the time, but it's easy if you don't know the technique. But you could start saying, I'm really scared that I'm going to die.
I'm really scared that I'm going to die.
I'm really scared that I won't get any treatment if I get the virus.
I'm really scared that I won't get any treatment if I get the virus.
I'm really afraid that I won't make it.
I'm really afraid that I won't make it.
I feel really scared.
I feel really scared.
I'm really, really scared that I'm going to die from this virus if I get it.
I'm really scared that I'll die from this virus if I get it.
I'm so, so scared for this virus.
I'm so, so scared for this virus.
Check in with the fear. Where are you at now?
I think a 2.
A 2. That's amazing. Okay, so let's remove this fear entirely then.
Yeah.
Is it still the same fear and in the same place?
Yeah, same place. I think, it feels a lot less like I don't feel it as much as all the other ones.
That's amazing. That's really great. Has it changed in characteristics in any way? Is it less burning or less smaller or something?
Smaller.
Smaller. Okay, so how big is it about now?
Oh, can you see
Okay,
me?
like a ping pong ball. Perfect. Then we continue on with the tapping. And since the fear has not changed, we do not do a new setup phrase. But if the fear had changed to something else, and if you feel other fears come up, because this was so quick, so we can probably do another fear with you. So if the fear changed, then do a new setup phrase. But we just continue tapping on this. This remaining fear that I will catch the virus and die.
This remaining fear that I will catch the virus and die.
I choose to let it go now.
I choose to let it go now.
Eyebrow point. The remaining fear that I'm going to catch the virus and that I won't get treatment.
Remaining fear that I will catch the virus and won't get treatment.
I choose to let it go now.
I choose to let it go now.
Outside the eye. And now I'm going to do something that you can do it in the end of the session when you come down sufficiently. I choose to believe that the healthcare system in Spain will take care of me.
I choose to believe that the healthcare system in Spain will take care of me.
So now I let go of this fear.
Then I let go of this fear.
Underneath the eye. The last remains of this fear that I will die from the virus.
The last remains of this fear that I will die from the virus.
I choose to let them go now.
I choose to let them go now.
And have faith instead.
And have faith instead.
Underneath the nose. The last of this fear.
The last of this fear.
That I won't get treatment and die from this virus.
That I won't get treatment and die from this virus.
I choose to let it go now.
I choose to let it go now.
Underneath the lower lip. I know that I can choose fear or faith in this situation.
I know that I can choose fear or faith in this situation.
So I choose faith.
I choose faith.
Collarbone point. The very last of this fear that is remaining in my chest.
The very last of this fear that's remaining in my chest.
I let it dissolve now.
I let it dissolve now.
And I let it go with love.
I let it go with love.
Underneath the arm. I choose hope.
I choose hope.
I choose to trust the healthcare system.
I choose to trust the healthcare system.
I choose calm.
I choose calm.
And peace.
And peace.
Wrist point. The very last of this fear.
The very last of this fear.
I let it go now with peace and love.
I let it go now with peace and love.
Side of the hand. I choose to believe that everything will work out great in the end.
I choose to believe that everything will work out great in the end.
And that I will make it fine through this with my health. Perfect.
And I will make it fine through this with my health perfectly.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Sorry for my English. So how are you feeling right now when you check in with the fear?
I do feel better. I think some of the words that we use too, like the healthcare system, that type of thing helped a lot too.
Good. So if you measure it from 1 to 10, where would you say that it is right now?
Hopefully like around 0.
Okay. That's great. So you went from an 8 to a 0 in less than 15 minutes. But it's not too bad. That's the power of emotional freedom technique. So would you like to work on the other fear that you have as well? Because I can sense that fear that you have in your solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Let's see. Because there's a lot. I guess just what will happen when this is over, or how we're going to come out of it.
Like the uncertainty of this situation, yeah. I think that one is a great to work with, because I think that everyone is kind of feeling that right now, because no one of us have ever experienced anything like this before. So
Right.
the world will probably change, and we will have to change with it. So where do you feel that fear of uncertainty in your body?
Yeah, I do feel it here.
Your solar plexus.
Yeah.
And how intense would you say that that fear is from 1 to 10?
Probably 7.
Probably 7. Perfect. I forgot to say this before, but if you who are listening have your own specific fears that are not matching these fears, then choose your specific fears and work with them. If your specific fears, for example, is I don't know how I'm going to pay for my bills, or I'm scared that I'm going to lose my home, or I don't know what I'm going to do for work, or things like that, choose that fear and use that as a statement and as a set of phrase, so that you can work on your own fears while we do this. But let's get back to your fear. So how would you phrase this fear?
I don't know, have fear of what will happen in the future, and hope is good, but
Yeah. Is it mostly the uncertainty? You're scared because you don't know what will happen with you?
Right. Yeah, I like to plan things, but right now none of us can plan anything.
So it's a fear of not being in control and not knowing what will happen.
Right.
So is it still a 7?
Yes.
Yes. So quite intense. But let's get started with a setup phrase on the side of the hand. Even though I have this fear.
Even though I have this fear.
Of losing control.
Of losing control.
And I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Even though I have this fear.
Even though I have this fear.
That I can't control what's going to happen in the future.
That I can't control what's going to happen in the future.
And everything feels uncertain.
And everything feels uncertain.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Even though I have this fear.
Even though I have this fear.
For what's going to happen in the future.
For what's going to happen in the future.
And I can't control it.
And I can't control it.
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Perfect. Now we get on with the points. Top of the head. This fear of the uncertainty.
This fear of the uncertainty.
Eyebrow point. I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
And it scares me.
Scares me.
Outside of the eye. I don't have any control of what's going to happen.
I don't have any control of what's going to happen.
And makes me fearful.
Makes me fearful.
Underneath the eye. This uncertainty.
This uncertainty.
That makes me scared.
Makes me scared.
underneath the nose. I feel really scared because I can't control this.
I feel really scared because I can't control this.
Underneath the lip. And there's nothing I can do about this.
There's nothing I can do about this.
And it makes me scared.
It makes me scared.
Collarbone point. This fear of this uncertainty that we're living in.
This fear of this uncertainty that we're living in.
Underneath the arm. I'm really scared because I don't know what's going to happen to me.
I'm really scared because I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Wrist point. I'm really scared because I can't control this.
I'm really scared because I can't control this.
Side of the hand. This fear of this uncertainty that we're living in right now.
This fear of this uncertainty that we're living in right now.
Check back in with the fear from 1 to 10.
Probably a 1.
A 1. You're amazing.
You are amazing.
Thank you. That is so sweet. So when you feel it, do you still feel it in your solar plexus?
It feels a lot looser. I don't feel as tight.
Okay. Do you feel like you have, let's see what we had, it's,
She said she felt a lot calmer.
okay, perfect. You know, my eyesight isn't the best and this one is far away from me. I'm glad you feel a lot calmer. It's really working, emotional freedom techniques. So what I always do is to end up with some positive phrases and positive affirmations to get us some hope and some peace and some love. So let's do that since you're down at a 1 and see if the last remains of this fear can be released as well. So let's say, even though I have a tiny little bit of fear left,
Even though I have a tiny little bit of fear left,
I choose to hope that this situation will work out perfectly.
I choose to hope this situation will work out perfectly.
Even though I have a little tiny bit of fear left,
Even though I have a tiny bit of fear left,
I choose to let it go
I choose to let it go.
and choose hope.
I choose hope.
Even though I have this tiny little fear left,
Even though I have this tiny bit of fear left,
I choose to let it go
I choose to let it go.
and choose to feel positive about the outcome of this.
I choose to feel positive about the outcome of this.
I choose to feel positive right now.
I choose to feel positive right now.
Maybe something good will come out of this.
Maybe something good will come out of this.
Beginning of the eyebrow. I choose to believe that there is a gift in everything.
I choose to believe that there is a gift in everything.
And that there will be a gift in this after we're through it as well.
And there will be a gift in this after we're through with this as well.
I choose faith.
I choose faith.
I choose hope.
I choose hope.
I choose to believe that I can use this time to grow and to evolve.
I choose to believe that I can use this time to grow and evolve.
I choose to believe that I can become something better I choose to believe that I can come out of this better than before.
I choose to believe that I can come out of this better than before.
Collarbone point. I choose to believe that the world will be a better place because of this.
I choose to believe the world will be a better place because of this.
I choose to believe in a positive outcome.
I choose to believe in a positive outcome.
I choose faith.
I choose faith.
And I choose hope.
I choose hope.
Wrist point. I choose to see all the love and connections that have come out of this situation.
I choose to see all the love and connections that have come out of this situation.
And that all will end up well.
All will end up well.
Side of the hand. I choose to believe that everything will be good again.
I choose to believe that everything will be good again.
And I know this too shall pass.
And I know this too shall pass.
So check in with the fear. How do you feel now?
Good. I think it's probably 0 to 1.
0 to 1. Okay. So when you feel your energy, is it easier to breathe?
Yes, less tight.
Less tight in the chest? Do you feel any change in your shoulders? Because I think you were a little tense before.
Yeah, everything feels lighter.
Feels lighter and feels easier to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is perfect. Do you want to remove the very last to get it down to 0?
I think we're okay if you want to just talk and help other people.
Okay.
Hog this.
Well, it's okay. We've been going on for like 25 minutes, I think. But is there something else, some last thing that you would like to work on?
Does anybody else have anything they would like to work with Elizabeth on? I think that was really good. I think it gave people an understanding of EFT that probably weren't aware of it at all before. So that's really good.
Yeah, perfect.
And as Joanna said, she felt a lot calmer as we were doing that as well. So that's good.
Yeah, it's been shown to reduce the cortisol levels with up to 50% in the body. So let's see, it's very powerful. Yes, it is. It's the most powerful technique that I've ever encountered since my 20 years of starting my personal development. Because 20 years ago, I lost almost everything humanly possible to lose. I lost my mom to cancer and my sister to cancer and my friend to suicide, everything I owned in a fire, my marriage, and every single person I knew when I left a religious organization. So I was suicidal and decided to end my life, basically. But I didn't. And that day I decided that I was going to find every tool there was to become happy again. And emotional freedom technique has been one of the most powerful tools that I have found during that journey. I've erased my grief completely with this, using a different tapping technique and lots of limiting beliefs. And yeah, you can do everything with emotional freedom technique. So does anyone want to do a quick tapping session on anything? Just holler.
I just have a question. So
Yeah?
would you continue with the tapping, for example, once a day to keep it powerful?
In this situation, when we have an ongoing trauma, we probably need to do it at least once a day, because there are fears that we may be able to get down to 0, but then something happens, we may watch something on the news, and then the fear comes back, or another fear comes back. So I would definitely recommend doing it, well, as soon as you need it, really, because you see how quick it is. I removed 2 big fears in 25 minutes, so you can do it too. But we need to do it continuously right now in this situation, because we will pick up a lot of fears. And there is, well, the news is not a good place, so I would recommend not to watch the news. But if you do that, or if you stumble up on something on Facebook, do the technique. And now I've done it's just fine to do the basic technique and just say this fear, even though I have this fear of whatever it is, I love and accept myself, and then just repeat that. You don't have to vary the phrases like I do. But it works just as well if you just say, repeat the fear, and be very specific about the fear. And there's also a technique that you can use that is called the personal peace procedure. And that is essentially that you work through old traumas, old happenings that have been triggered during this situation, because I believe that right now is a perfect opportunity to go through the layers of fear and of trauma that we have, because this situation and this fear will trigger a lot of things in us. So what you do is that you think of maybe 100 events in your life from when you were a child up until now, and you give them a headline, like the time when my dad shut me in the closet, or the time, if that was traumatic, but something else, whatever it is, the time that my mother did this, the time that I was bullied in school when I was going to do that speech, the time when I almost hit that red car. And you write down a headline for all of these events, and then you decide that you're going to take a session every day. You're going to do a session every day and work on one event until you have worked through these events. Because this will release so much anxiety and so much pain in you that is maybe triggered during this situation. It's called the personal peace procedure. It's super effective, and it will make you grow and evolve. I have to go. Okay, thank you so much. It's been lovely. So that is what you can do right now. And I also promised that I was gonna talk about how you can use this with kids. Or is that a good answer to your question, by the way? Or do you have any more questions? No, I can't hear you.
Yes, I was just typing in because of you said you have your website with all the techniques. So
Yes.
could you share that?
My website is elizabethlilly.com.
Okay.
Elizabeth with a C and an H, and Lily is spelled Lily. And you can download the free EFT tapping guide with a basic emotional freedom technique from there. So elizabethlilly.com. So
Yes, that is thank you for sharing your personal story. It's very powerful, this technique. I'm really happy that I came on your call. Thank you.
thank you so much. So yeah, how you use this with kids. Kids are super responsive to emotional freedom technique. So if you have a kid that is frustrated, that is fearful, that is feeling some negative emotions, you can just tap on the child directly, maybe just on one point, maybe the side of the eye, or maybe underneath the eye, until the child is calmed down. And there are also different tapping techniques that you can do with kids as well, but this is often the only thing that is needed to help a child calm down from fear and anxiety and frustration, because it has to be very difficult to be a child right now when you can't go outside and you can't meet your friends and everything like that. So do we have any more questions, or do we feel complete?
I think also talking about, I strongly believe that when you are with other people talking about the same problem, it makes you stronger and it makes you feel more comfortable. And like this kind of situation now that is universal. So when you talk about this, you get help and you feel stronger and your fear gets less, no?
Yes, and especially when we tap together, there has been shown to be a synergistic effect from the energy from everyone that is tapping together. So it's even stronger if you're a group that is tapping together than if you do it on your own. Yeah. But I absolutely think that we need to share our fears, and we need to show some love, and we need to get this connection, because the very most important thing for every human being is to be seen and to be heard. And when our fears are seen and heard, then they disappear. So when we're seen and heard, when we share our fears, when we acknowledge our fears, then it's more easy to manage our fears. I used to say that how we should meet difficult emotions is how we meet little children who are scared or who are fearful or anxious. If we see a little child crying because it's scared, we don't say, "Oh, go away, I won't hear you, I won't see you." It wouldn't be very nice of us. Instead, we pick up the child, we put all our attention to the child, we hold it, we love it, we talk softly to it, we caress it until it's done crying, and then the fear has gone away. Because the fear has been acknowledged, it's been seen, it's been met. And that is what we can do with our own fears as well. Instead of trying to push them away, even if it's anxiety, try to release your control over fear and try to breathe through it and just listen to it, just be with it. You can even imagine that you're holding yourself, that you're giving yourself some love. Say some nice things to yourself. Because the emotions are messages from our subconscious mind that this situation is not a really good situation to be in. So of course this is not a good situation to be in. There's this bad virus out there. So this is a message with fear that we should get out of this situation. Unfortunately, we can't. But we can meet this situation with, and our fears, with love, with compassion, and breathe through them, let go of them, and receive the message from the fear and from the anxiety. And that will make it easier to deal with our fears and our anxiety as well. So yes, seeing and hearing each other and seeing and hearing our fears will definitely help. Is there any more questions?
Yes, one more question. Would you organize like a group tapping session? I mean, to invite people to tap with you, like what you were just saying online?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. I can do that.
I think that would be lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a Facebook group that I'm just starting out that I could do a tapping session in. And if you send me a friend request, I can send you the link to it.
Great.
I also plan on doing, since I'm an energy healer, I plan on doing some energy healing in the group as well, which is super relaxing. Most people fall asleep right away. So
Snore.
if someone needs that as well. I'm sorry?
And snore.
And snore. Yeah, you snored.
Good. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. I think that was really good. I think we all got something out of that session. So brilliant. Thank you very much.
Good.
And your website again is Elizabeth with a Z and then H at the end, Lily, Lily, 1 L. Yeah, good.
Good.
Okay,
and
ladies.
just a reminder, if someone's watching this, choose your own specific fear. You don't have to choose the fear that I was working with. Choose your own specific fear and say, even though I have this fear of whatever it is that you're working on. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ali, for having me. And I hope that this really helps the women in the group and their families as well.
Yeah, no, it was good. And we can download your map of where we tap from your website as well. Great.
Download the guide.
Yeah.
Just how you do the setup phrase, how you choose the fear, and where all the points are, so that you can work with your families and with your friends and with your children as well if you want to.